What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm back with another video. Now these are videos that I don't do very often, but today's video is the top 5 worst Yu-Gi-Oh card rarities of all time. Now before I get into this video, if you guys want to see some more of these top 5, top 10 videos, whether I talk about like top 5 best rarities or if I want to talk about top 5 best decks of all time, whatever. If you guys want to see these top 5, top 10 videos, let me know by liking this video and telling me in the comment section down below that you guys want to see more of these. Now, also before I get into this video, I just wanted to say that this is very subjective, but I was trying to look at it from a non-subjective standpoint, and I also tried to go and do some research and get some insight on what the general Yu-Gi-Oh community thinks. So these are not just my opinions, even though I do more or less agree with them. They're not just my opinions, and I think these are more just the general idea and the general opinions of the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Now, one important thing to keep in mind in this video is that we are going to be assessing only cards released here in the TCG. I am not going to be counting OCG prints. Now, OCG obviously do have some different rarities that the TCG has, but we're going to be specifically focused on the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. So anything printed in the OCG does not count towards this top 5 list. So with that being said, guys, let's get into the top 5 worst Yu-Gi-Oh card rarities of all time. Starting off at number 5 are Prismatic / Starlight rares. Now, I'm not talking about the Prismatic rarity that came out in World Superstars or the 2019 Megatins where we got those kind of prismatics. I actually don't think those are bad, and I think the general public actually does like those, but I'm really referring to that weird prismatic rarity that they gave to the Odd Eyes, the Dark Rebellion, and I think a couple tins before that as well. I think it was a Fire Fist Bear and another card. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but those Mega Tin promo cards, I think those are some of the worst rarities that we've ever gotten in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I went online to check this out and see what people think, and pretty much the consensus was that nobody liked this rarity. It was a weird rarity. People were very turned off by it. But at the same time, what I never understood is how people hated that rarity but are in love with the Starlight rares that you can pull from the newest sets. I just really never understood that, to be completely honest with you. That concept is just weird to me. I'm personally not even a fan of the new Starlight rarity, but that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about is specifically those tin promo cards. I think some of the worst rarities, and they come at number 5. At number 4 comes gold rares. Now, we've had a few gold rare printings. We've had gold ghost rares, gold secret rares, and just the generic gold rare. And on this list, we're going to be talking about the generic gold rare. That rarity has to be one of the worst rarities of all time. Just the colors are really awkward on the cards. Some of the cards that they printed in gold rare just don't really work with the rarity itself, because a lot of the time cards look better in certain rarities just because of the artwork or the color of the card. You know, monster cards versus trap cards versus spell cards, they look different, you know, synchro monsters versus Xyz monsters. So it just kind of depends on what the card is, but the gold rarity itself just doesn't work with a lot of cards. A lot of the cards are just really off-putting. The colors are just really weird. It's not very pleasant to the eye, and so the generic gold rare is just not very nice in general. A couple cards that I can think of off the top of my head are like the BA monsters. Gold rare BAs are some of the ugliest cards in the history of the game. I know a lot of people, myself included, would prefer just playing the rares for BAs, just as it looks so much better. Upgrading a rarity, or quote unquote upgrading a rarity into gold rare, was not considered an upgrade. I just don't like that rarity. Now, if we ever do get that gold ultimate rare that the OCG has, I love that. That rarity is how you do gold rares correctly. I think that's amazing. But the generic gold rares that we have here in the TCG are some of the worst rarity cards this game has ever seen. Coming at number 3 on the list is Star Foil rares. Now, Star Foil rares came out in these weird sets that they dropped, just side sets, and they're pretty much reprint sets, and they are star packs, right? We've had star pack, I think 2013, 2014, 2015. I don't remember the last time we had a star pack, but the star packs had that specific rarity called Star Foil Rare, where each pack came with a common, a Star Foil Rare, or 2 commons and a Star Foil Rare, something like that, whatever. But the Star Foil rarity itself is just not very pleasant to look at. First of all, the rarity itself is very hard to see unless you shine it under specific lighting. So it just more or less looks like a common card with dirt on it. I know, it sounds weird and I sound rude, but it's just what it is, to be honest with you. So the card doesn't really have a rarity. It just has some really weird glittery looking things on the card, and it doesn't really help the card look any better. It doesn't really bring out the artwork. It doesn't really bring out the text. It doesn't really bring out anything of the card itself. So Starfoil Rare is just one of those things that I think Konami included on their card just to say that they had another rarity, but really it didn't do anything for the card itself. And a lot of the time, I think I just prefer a common or just a regular rare over a Starfoil Rare. The rarity is just really awkward looking. Coming at number 2 is the Mosaic Rare. Now, this is kind of the same reasoning as the Starfoil Rare, and you guys can actually just switch 2 and 3 up depending on whatever your preference is. But the Mosaic Rare is pretty much the same as the Starfoil Rare, except they made it look like kind of like cube-ish and like rectangular-ish. So Mosaic Rares in general are just one of those cards and one of those rarities that, again, you have to shine under specific light. Doesn't really bring out the card art anymore. Doesn't really make the card look shinier by any means. It just really does look like dust on the card. Unless you shine it under specific light, it's just a really weird rarity. Doesn't really do anything pleasing for the eye. It's not really pleasing to look at. However, I will say that the Mosaic Rare God cards are probably the best printed Mosaic Rares, because honestly, just them being God cards and the artwork of those cards just being so nice as they are can be okay as a Mosaic Rare. They could have done something much more creative with the Mosaic Rare. I don't think it was very good at all. Now, some honorable mentions before we get on to number 1 are the Shatterfoil Rare, which I think should definitely be, if I did a top 6, Shatterfoil Rare would definitely be on there, because Shatterfoil Rare is just one of those things that just looks very, very bootleg. I hate to say it, but it looks so bootleg, and this is coming from a personal opinion. I actually didn't look online for Shadowfoil Rares too much, so this is more of a personal thing, but definitely honorable mention is Shadowfoil Rare. They did it with Dual Terminal, because I think Dual Terminal has that cool rarity where it has like the dots all over it. I don't know why, but that just looks really cool, and you can actually very much see the dots. The Shadowfoil, though, again, is just the same thing as like Starfoil or Mosaic Rare, where you kind of just have to shine it under certain lights. So Dual Terminal Shadowfoil, as well as just the regular Shadowfoil that they put out, are just very not pleasing rarities. It doesn't feel like there's a rarity to the card at all, and to be honest, I think a lot of the time players in the community would just prefer a rare or a common or just a super rare, something, just anything other than like the Shadowfoil Rare. So honorable mention definitely goes to Shadowfoil Rares. And now at number 1, and I think you guys can all agree with me on this, the very worst Yu-Gi-Oh card rarity ever printed here in the TCG is Platinum Rare. Platinum Rares are atrocious. When I say atrocious, I mean some of the worst, and actually the worst rarity ever printed. Now, you guys can only get Platinum Rares specifically from that one Noble Knights of the Round Table booster box. It's not like a box, it's kind of like a promo box where you got a Noble Knight deck all in Platinum Rare, and I think Effect Veiler and Foolish Burial were also printed in it, and then you got a playmat or whatever. So that set is the only place you can get Platinum Rares, and I think one way to back this statement up is that Konami never even looked at this rarity again after that set. This rarity was absolutely dropped by Konami after that, because if you guys have never seen a Platinum Rare before, I'm sure you guys are seeing it on the screen right now, but if you guys have never seen a Platinum Rare before, it's this weird quote-unquote reverse foil. If you guys have ever seen Pokemon reverse foils, they're kind of like that quote-unquote weird reverse foil, but they made the artwork on the cards and the actual rarity itself very dark. It has this like glossy finish on the outside of it. Cards just shine really weird. It's such a bad rarity that Konami never even wanted to look at it again. This rarity actually brings down the value of a lot of cards. It sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm actually very confident in saying, common Effect Veilers are worth more than Platinum Rare Effect Veilers. Common Foolish Burials are worth more than Platinum Rare Foolish Burials. Like, this rarity is not by any way an upgrade. Some of the worst rarity ever. The card itself, the artwork itself cannot be seen very well. The cards are very dark. They just have this weird finish on them. Platinum Rares have to be some of the worst rarity, and actually on this list, the worst rarity ever printed here in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for all listening and watching the top 5 worst Yu-Gi-Oh card rarities. If you guys want to see more of these top 5 videos where I try to be as objective as possible, I'm not gonna lie, there's some subjectivity to this, but I'm trying to be as objective as possible. Let me know in the comment section down below and by liking this video. And that's all I really gotta say. So with that, guys, Spanko signing out. Peace.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit, man, I'm on it.